definition and in dedication and detachment, let us focus a little bit more on the last D, detachment. The idea, as we have already explained, is that, of course, when you get into the appropriate state of your being, with regard to what vibration is who you are, what vibration is recognized as who you are not, you can allow yourself to detach, in a sense, by not giving any particular kind of spin or meaning of a negative consequence to those things, those situations and circumstances that you recognize have nothing really to do with you. And we would like to amplify the concept a little bit of detachment in the sense that it is a little bit of an important vibration to keep around as an overall atmosphere in which to experience the entire process we have described today of your time. In other words, not to dampen down your passion and enthusiasm and excitement and desire, but with all of that, you can still create an overall bubble of neutrality so that you can practice approaching every situation in life with that kind of attached detachment that allows you more freedom to experience what you really prefer in terms of energy, in terms of desire, in terms of getting in touch with the definitions, in terms of dedication. So detachment in that sense is not only a result of moving through the first three, it's also in some senses a bubble that wraps up all the others and in which you can progress a little bit more quickly, a little bit more efficiently. Because if you maintain that sense that everything is neutral and allow yourself to get into the practice of not automatically ascribing negative meaning to things in the way that you might have done in the past, so to speak, you will give yourself an edge. You will give yourself a little bit more of an opportunity to be able to home in on the first three energies more strongly. You will give yourself a little bit more of a chance to catch yourself and remember when you face any given circumstance, when you face any given situation, to bring to bear the toolkit with the desire, with the definition, with the dedication that will lead to more detachment from what is not you by maintaining an overall sense of detachment. Because really you are an eternal being. You're an infinite being. There's no rush. There's no hurry. There's no deadline per se. The idea is that you really have all the time in the world because you create the time that you have. So allow yourself to have a kind of sauntering energy through all of this, even with the idea of passion. You can still allow yourself to saunter into any given situation, size it up, assess it, take a moment, give yourself some space. You don't have to feel like you're trapped in the situation in any way, shape, or form. Use that tool of detachment to give yourself that moment of pause so that you can fully assess what's going on and remember to take that neutral position, to diffuse the old definitions you may have been taught to automatically imbue, the old meanings you may have been taught to automatically assign to any given situation. Wear that detachment a little bit like a jacket, like a coat, like a garment, as you walk, as you saunter easily and smoothly through your lives, to give yourself the opportunity to remember the rest of the tools and bring them out to bear and use them and apply them to what's going on in the situation that you have attracted yourself into. Now, also please remember, and again, non-judgmentally, but at the same time understand there are consequences to actions in physical reality in the way that you understand. So, at the same time, remember that while you're applying this desire and this definition and this dedication and this detachment, because you are physical beings, I simply once again remind you, these things will work more powerfully for you when you put yourself into the proper state also physically that allows them more opportunity to flow through you in an unimpeded way, which again means the more you allow yourself to have a clean system, the more you detoxify, the more you keep yourself hydrated, the more you take care of yourself in that way and lighten up what you put in your body and make sure it's as toxin-free as possible, in a sense, the more impact these tools will appear to have. And it will not, in your terms, take as long for you to get the hang of it. It will not, in your terms, take as long for you to feel their effect. Because you are not, in that sense, putting impediments that allow the flow of energy to, in some senses, have to find other routes and give that energy other things it needs to deal with as well. But again, it's up to you. All we are simply saying is, if it doesn't seem to be going in quite the way you thought it would, take a look at what you are doing to yourselves physiologically and understand that if you want it to be a little bit more powerfully effective, then you will need to change some of those other things as well. And of course, because many of those things are also connected to other belief systems and core issues, the beauty here is that you can use these tools to allow yourself to get a handle on other things such as physiological effects that you may be doing to your body that also do slow those effects down. So you can use that to clean up what is slowing it down and then feel the effect of going a little faster. Up to you, just letting you know everything is a factor because you are physical beings in that sense. And you do need to take that into consideration just so you know. So if you're looking around saying, well, it's not really happening, look at what you're doing and see if there's something you can clean up. Because that will usually make a difference in how effective these tools can be. Now, if you feel that doing these things, perhaps, that put these toxins in your body, ensure that you're moving at a pace you can handle, then by all means continue if you want to continue at that pace. It's up to you. I'm just letting you know everything has a consequence. And you have to look at the whole picture. Not just think that you can keep doing things that are behaviorally the same as you used to do. Remember, dedication, and get the full effect of all the other parts of the tool. All the parts must come to bear, and what we are now talking about falls into that category of being dedicated to doing this with yourself, for yourself. So, behavior is connected to the idea of demonstrating exactly how dedicated you are to staying in alignment with things that are representative of the vibration of who it is you say you prefer to be. Just take that into account without judgment. We love you unconditionally. And again, please remember that no matter what you do, you are always interesting television. So, on that note, let us look at the enneagrammatic circuit. Now, you will notice, again, based on the term enneagram, it refers to the idea of a nine-folded idea, a nine-layered idea. You have the number of completion in that sense, 9. And so you will find, and as we say, this is just a little extra tool, a little extra boost to provide some focus in doing all the other things that we talked about and all the other exercises and moving forward in that way. This can also just add a little extra boost, a little extra focus. You can do this once a day. Again, just by looking at that enneagrammatic circuit and going from the center to the upper right, down, across the bottom, up the left side, and across the top to the center, and back down to the middle point. And as you do that, as you go through that motion with your eyes, reciting the sentence below it. It's a type of affirmational technique, a type of affirmational tool that will key into ancient vibrations that will reach the subconscious mind, the collective conscious mind, the world mind, will tie you to your roots and propel you toward the future. It has a kind of spice to it. In a sense, it's adding a certain kind of flavor and a certain kind of seasoning to the overall tools that we have given you with regard to the spiral and the understandings and the meditations that have come in this dialogue today. So doing this also once a day can be of assistance to you, and if you wish, you can do it either before or after what we have already talked about in terms of going through the recitation of the 4 Ds and doing the spiral and making your notations in that sense. You can do it before and after that little exercise of the 4 trips down the spiral. It's up to you. Wherever it is you like your seasoning, wherever it is you like your flavoring, just to add a cap to it, just to add a pinch of salt to it, do this little enneagrammatic circuit in conjunction with the other thing, and we will let your imagination be the guide as to exactly how and when and where you will perform this. But it adds just a little bit of focus and a little bit of flavor that will spin it out of your imagination in a different direction, specifically tailored for you. It will call upon your particular place in your society, in your culture. It will bring out the flavors of all the things that make you as a person unique. It will bring them to the surface and bring them to bear on all the other exercises that we have talked about today. So it's just a little bit of a rounding out tool that will help put a little bit of polish on the other ones that will do it specifically in your way, calling out the unique characteristics in you that will enrich the other tools to work for you specifically, in your vibration specifically. So, and remember the common word, dream, on the other lists. Allow yourself the idea of the mechanism of dreaming. And again, this is not only the idea of what happens to you physiologically, but the idea again of your passion, the idea of daring to dream, of letting the dream that you know you are be valid, be valued, be appreciated. So, use these in conjunction. And again, remember, in the way that we participated here today, if you will do this, up to you, but if you will do this with the degree that you did it today, in that fashion of energy and application, you will find that within 30 to 90 of your days, there will be tremendous changes in your life. Tremendous opportunities coming in, tremendous insights that will come to you in a variety of ways. You're really beginning to open the floodgates now. Let it come through at whatever rate you're comfortable, but let it come through. You're ready for it. We would not be delivering this if you were not. We would not be delivering this if you were not. Believe me, we have checked with lots of different sources and gained the permission of lots of different sources connected to your world to know that now is the time for this kind of tool. You are ready for it. Do it whatever way makes you comfortable, but you're ready for it. Don't doubt that, because it wouldn't be happening if you weren't. Let us continue with sharing of questions if there are more clarifications needed on the material that has been delivered this day. or other issues that are at the core.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I've been dreaming various dreams about with everyone in each moment doing the most exciting thing they are capable of doing.
Yes.
And I would like to expand my understanding of the ideas of excitement and motivation.
Yes.
The idea of excitement being the physical translation of the vibrational energy that represents the path I've chosen to be.
Yes.
Is that apply like a local law or when you're in physical embodiment, or is, why is that not a fifth universal law?
The idea is simply based on the notion of what you put out is what you get back. That's the third law. What we are simply saying is that the vibration itself is what determines that. And the vibration of your natural state of existence, the first law, is much higher than you think and generally translates in your particular dimension as the sensation of excitement. So this statement is simply a more detailed explanation of some of the principles that go hand in hand with the laws as we have already described them. It's not an additional law, it's an explanation of the characteristics of the laws we have already described.
Understood, yes. And for some people, is it possible that excitement for them is to create pain and anger and separation?
In some senses, yes, and this is why we have said very often that you must pay strict attention to the concept of what it is you are calling excitement. In a sense, it's actually not their excitement, but they, through their motivations and through their fears, may label it as such. And it is up to you to learn through self-honest examination to be able to discern the difference between excitement in that sense and anxiety. Do you follow me?
Yeah, so let me see if I do. If everyone then is in their, what they perceive, the belief that they put out, what they perceive to be the most exciting thing they can do, when that is in alignment with their true isness,
yes,
then they will be expressing joy and laughter in that
Yes.
sense.
It is simply the natural state that goes hand in hand with that vibration. There may be, in certain circumstances, a few exceptions, but that will be done for very specific reasons. For the most part, you can be relatively assured that the idea of the generation of pain is not a result of the generation of excitement. It is usually the result of the idea of dampening down the excitement and giving over to fear. Because pain is simply resistance to the natural self.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and so then we're motivated to do what we perceive to be will bring us closest to pleasure rather than pain.
As we have described, motivation is a big key in understanding what's going on and whether or not you're actually generating fear or joy, excitement or anxiety, because motivation is the key that underlies knowing the difference. As we have described, as you are pointing out, motivation is simply, again, based on definition. You will do the things you believe and perceive to be more pleasurable and less painful, and you will not do the things you believe and perceive to be more painful and less pleasurable. Now, that's where, shall we say, the trick comes into it. Because when someone is doing something painful, but they say they are following their excitement, what they are not paying attention to is the belief system they have that is attached itself, so to speak, or you have attached it, to the painful act, that is somehow defining the doing of that painful act as actually more pleasurable than what they have defined the alternative to be because of their fear that's attached to that. And that's where I understand it can get a little tricky. But do you understand what I am saying mechanistically?
Yes.
Anything you perceive to be pleasure, you will move toward. Anything you perceive to be pain, you will move away from. But you have to pay attention to how you're defining pleasure and pain.
Yes.
So the idea is that many people will do a painful thing because to them, to follow their true joy might actually in some senses seem to be more painful than the painful thing they're doing. So they'll move away from that. Even though it might actually ultimately give them joy, they don't perceive it in a joyful way because of their definitions of it.
Understood. Thank you.
Yes.
As far as question just got away from me. Come back here.
Oh, there it is. There it goes. Out the door.
Could you give me an idea what percentage of the global population is aware of consciously and capable of sharing the ideas with others of the 4 universal laws at this time?
Well, they don't all express it in the way that we have, but many have an innate understanding of what we are saying, even though they may use different terminology. You follow me?
Yeah, it's within all of us. I'm just curious in terms of everyone, what's the percentage of people on the population actually are consciously aware of it, and to the point where they could share the ideas, the 4 laws, with other people. They could write them down.
3%.
3%.
Now, don't get discouraged. Understand, as we have explained before, positive energy is integrative and geometrically expands as compared to negative energy, which segregates. The idea is that you don't need as many people understanding or creating the positive vibration to outbalance the idea of the number of people expressing a negative vibration, because the positive is integrative and geometrically expands, and so it doesn't take as many people in that vibration to equal the power of more people in the negative. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The idea as it's been expressed in your society as a symbol, I'm not saying this is a literal number. The idea as it's been expressed as a symbol, as a metaphor in your society, is the 144,000. The idea is simply that compared to, let's say, 1 million or 2 million or 5 million people, all it takes is 144,000 in the positive to absolutely outweigh the millions in the negative. Because the positive is integrative and expands geometrically collectively. And it doesn't take that many to outweigh the negative. So not everyone on your planet has to be looking at a positive thing in order for there to be a lot of positive energy being given to your planet. You follow me?
Yes.
But in the way you asked the question, it's 3%. There is actually a larger percentage of people that are moving in positive directions, but you asked what percentage can actually completely comprehend and state some variation of the 4 laws, and it's 3%.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I've heard 2 stories related to Jeshua.
Yeshua, yes.
Yeshua.
Yes.
And Judas. One in which it is said that Judas betrayed Yeshua by turning him over to Pilate. And the other was in which Yeshua asked Judas to do that.
He didn't ask him to do it. He told him he would do it.
Judas told Yeshua he would do it?
No. Yeshua told Judas he would do it.
And explained to him he would be treated as a betrayer in doing so.
Yes.
And Judas accepted to do that for reasons
with
of his
great
own.
Pain and anguish, but understood why, and so accepted the role.
And he was perhaps one of the closest friends to Yeshua.
Yes, and that's why he was chosen. Because Yeshua knew he would do it because it needed to be done to illustrate a point.
So in terms of their relationship, they were at complete integrity with each other.
Absolutely.
In this action.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
The story of Gilgamesh, is that related to somebody who actually existed?
It is. Back in the time of the ideas of Enki and the early manifestations of extraterrestrial consciousness and other civilizations upon your planet. It is somewhat amalgamated and jumbled up and has evolved into somewhat of a fable, but nevertheless it is based on some real incidents and real people, even though it has become mostly metaphorical. Yes.
Oh, all right. Does the term Gilgamesh have a translation into English?
Well, yes. One moment. It might be a little bit unusual for your language, as there are idiomatic concepts in a variety of languages that don't translate completely across the board. Gilgamesh is an interesting combination of creator and destroyer simultaneously. That which destroys and creates. That which creates and thus destroys. Does this make any sense in your language?
Yes.
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 All right.
A destroyer and creator. Is it?
Yes, but not necessarily in the way you might think of the concept of destruction.
Destruction for the purposes of higher creation?
Yes. Perhaps in a more technical way of looking at it, you could say a disassembler and reassembler.
For a positive in new creation?
Well, it's somewhat actually neutral.
Neutral.
Even though the universe is slightly biased toward the positive, it's in that balanced point. Because from the universe's perspective, there isn't an agenda in that. It's simply a description of the nature of a particular state of consciousness and a description of what that state of consciousness was designed to do. Be the disassembler and reassembler. Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
So
Bashar.
Gilgamesh is like a verb, in a sense. It's actually more a verb than a noun. It's a description of a process at the very center of creation.
Yeah.
And it has been used in the past as more of a declaration than a description. When you witness that moment where all polarization comes together in a single moment, where all dichotomy blends together into one, you might call it in one of your languages a gestalt or an aha, but in ancient times, that moment, that experience was a Gilgamesh. Do you understand?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes, thank
but
you.
It was with a specific recognition of the specific idea of the destroyer and the creator, of the disassembler and the assembler, blending into one concept. With that revelation came Gilgamesh, the birth of an identity and an entity and a consciousness that represents a very specific state of being in reality on many different levels. Did this translate all right?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Much love, Bashar.
And to you as well.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you. I have been realizing that I don't have any excitement left and no passion.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Then why did you come today?
Because when I heard the name Bashar, I went, oh, okay.
So you mean you had some excitement
Yes.
left?
But
you just said you had no excitement. But then all of a sudden you had excitement.
well, that's because you appeared.
But I can't create that in you.
Yes, that's true.
You must have chosen to be excited.
Let me rephrase that then. I really don't seem to have a direction in my life or what I want to do or a passion for anything.
Oh, all right. So what do you want to do about that?
I would like to know how to get the fire back, the passion back.
Why do you want to know that?
Because otherwise there's really no reason for me to be on the planet.
Well, sure there is. Otherwise you wouldn't be. Believe me, this is not a mystery. This is not a mystery. It is not part of the agreement that you can in any way, shape, or form fool. If it is time for you to not be on the planet, all you have to do is lie down, close your eyes, and say, it's time for me to go. If you can open your eyes 10 seconds later, it's not time for you to go, or you would have gone. If you're not gone, it's not time for you to be gone. There is no accident about that. It's a perfect orchestration.
I understand.
So if you're where you are on the planet, there's a reason for it.
Correct.
Now, so what you are saying is you are attempting to figure out or how to invent or realize or recognize that reason or give yourself that reason.
Right.
All right. Now,
Thank you.
the very fact that you are asking for that
Right.
means you have passion, because that's what you're passionate about. Finding that passion. You understand?
Yes.
All right. So you have passion. This is similar to the idea we said before and in another variation where people think, oh, I'm only using 10% of my brain. No, you're using 100% of your brain to make it seem as if you're only using 10% of your brain. You are right now using your passion to make it seem as if you have to discover your passion. And that's exciting, because you're putting mystery into it. You're interpreting it with belief systems in a way that makes you experience it lethargically or depressively, but that's what you're actually doing. You are hiding things from yourself and creating a mystery that requires discovery. You're taking yourself on a detective journey to discover your passion. All you need to do is approach this from a more positive point of view with positive definitions, and suddenly you will find that it will not be depressing or sad. It will suddenly be that you are presented with a very interesting mystery to completely redefine yourself from scratch and really find out who you are. This is the task and the challenge you have set for yourself, is to be your own detective novel. And find out who you are, look for the clues, get curious, explore the mystery, see how this goes with that or that goes with this, and why did that happen, and what does that mean, and what meaning am I putting into this? And approach it that way, and you will find that that journey will be very, very engaging indeed. So the approach is really what needs to shift here, not the idea of finding your passion. Your passion is to find yourself through mystery. You just need to change your approach to the idea that that's what you need to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But?
It's like I have no drive to do it.
But you don't need drive.
And I resist. I try.
All right, now you're on to something.
Okay.
The resistance tells you that there is energy there. And again, the only reason you're experiencing the energy as resistance is because of the definitions that you have. Do you have any curiosity about yourself at all?
Yes.
What?
The original self. That I know that I'm
all
much
right.
more than I am.
Then that's all it takes. The curiosity will create the drive. Just maintain the balance in the curiosity energy. Maintain a presence in curiosity to find out who the original you is. That's the detective mystery. You don't need drive. Curiosity will do it. It will bring into your life circumstances that will arouse your curiosity further, and you will then take steps. Don't think about it as needing drive. Just remain curious about who you are as openly as you can, and it will start a momentum rolling.
Hi, Bashar.
And a
Hi.
good day.
I have a question about some history in the Bible.
Yes.
I was wondering if Moses actually went up on Mount Sinai and got these 2 tablets and where they came from.
He was given knowledge. It was an extraterrestrial encounter. The knowledge was inscribed in what you might call tablets, but not exactly of stone.
And what were they made of and where are they now?
They were a kind of crystalline formation, a kind of a crystalline nanomaterial with information that was downloadable upon touching the surface with your hand. There were some inscriptions in it, but only in the most general sense of, here's this category, this category, this category, this category, this category. Touch here, you will get that knowledge. Touch here, you will get that knowledge. Touch here, you will get that knowledge. Now, what has been translated in your language as the so-called 10 commandments were not commandments. That's a misinterpretation. They were simply 10 expressions of existence. In other words, to give you an example, what translated as, I am the Lord your God, you shall not have false gods before me, as a commandment, actually was, I am all that is. Anything else you can imagine is still me, so there can be no false gods. That's the difference. Where are they now? Wouldn't you like to know? We're actually not allowed to tell you. However, we are allowed to give you a hint, if we may.
I would love a hint.
All right. What is the most famous story about someone solving a riddle that you have in your culture? Nope. Louder.
Something, the Sphinx?
What a surprise. See what you can find. Solve the riddle.
Okay, I have
We're
to
only
think
allowed to
about
tell
that.
you so much. We cannot intervene in this process. But they do exist. They can be found. In, or perhaps out of time.
And this extraterrestrial presence that gave us these tablets, are they also responsible for the Jews being in the desert for 40 years and the parting of the sea?
Yes. They are a branch of what you have come to understand as the Anunnaki, but not the original ones.
And do you know why they chose to give it to the Jews?
I do.
Can you tell us why?
Not my job to tell you. Someone else will tell you in time or out of it.
Okay.
It may. We are being told it may, to some degree, be allowed, once again, in the upcoming transmission, the 5 hybrid races, which actually, we are also being told, we are allowed to say, may actually be not only about the 5, but the 6th that you're becoming, and the 7th, that we will all become together. So it may extend a little further than you think, and it may cover more ground than you think, and may turn in more directions than you think, from the title that has been given. We do not mean to be mysterious, but yes, we do. For that is all we can say at this moment, based on the timing of the dispensation and dispersal and dissemination of this information. You are on the cusp, but not quite there yet. But more will be revealed as these dialogues continue. Will that do?
On that topic, yes.
And what topic would you like to continue with?
I'm curious about Mars.
Yes, what about it?
Was there any life there? Is there life there?
Yes and yes. Primitive, still at this point. A civilization long ago that needed to move because of an asteroidal strike that ripped off about half of their atmosphere and became uninhabitable by the life form that was there. But there are still what you would call bacteriological, fungal, lichen-style life forms. Not to say that the planet isn't visited by different civilizations from time to time for a variety of reasons, not to say that there aren't bases there for ships. But in terms of the indigenous life, that left long ago and started to go inward and incarnate upon the earth in terms of their spirits. And therefore, the trail began in your solar system with the body that was between Mars and Jupiter, that is now the asteroid belt in your system that was once called Maldek. And when that became uninhabitable, the life moved to Mars and flourished there for quite some time. And when that became uninhabitable, life incarnated on your Earth, which is still habitable, moving inward and inward and inward toward the sun, toward the light, going from the outer darkness to the inner light. Yes?
Yes?
Does that answer your question?
Can you tell us a little bit about what the civilization was like when they were living on Mars?
Another time. That's a whole other story. But we will another time. All right?
And last little question. Do you know if I have any hybrid children?
I do know.
And can you tell
Oh, I thought
me?
you said that was the last question. Yes, you do.
How many?
That I will not answer.
Any names?
That I will not answer.
Can you give me any information about that?
Go to sleep and dream of them, and they will communicate with you.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Pleasant dreams.
Hi, Bashar.
And you good day.
I'm good. I just have a question about two mysterious creatures and what's your take on it?
Two mysterious creatures.
Yes, the Mothman and the Chupacabra.
All right. Chupacabra, as you call it, is a relatively rare and little known species that exists on your planet. It is uncommon to run across it, but it is kind of a cross between what you would call a canine and something else a long time ago that was hybridized with it, that no longer exists on your planet in its original form, is extinct. So it is a rare offshoot of a hybridization, a melding that took place long ago. And it's the last remnants of that particular creature on your planet. Mothman is a very different idea. As you express it, it is a being, an interdimensional being, that like a moth is drawn to a certain type of light. The light being the light you experience or have described as experiencing upon the passage in death. Therefore, it is always attracted to things that have to do with imminent death, passage of death. In that sense, it can be a warning or a harbinger of death to come, or it can simply be that being which is attracted to the light that occurs in the transition between one reality and another. Like energy being given off in the passage.
Interesting. And one last topic. In the distant future, will we be working more with nature spirits?
Absolutely. As has already been described, you will find that after the time of the arrival of the hybrids on your planet, and when they are more fully integrated into your society and you into theirs, the idea of interacting with nature spirits will be a relatively common thing, because you will all have the abilities to do so based on the abilities of the hybrids to perceive them and guide humans to them and allow the spirits to manifest before you in more physical ways. So there will be an activity and a process involved in this, but by the time, as we have explained already, or also as has Hilla Crissing explained to you already, being 700 years in your future, interacting with nature spirits is a daily occurrence for her and the people of that time.
Cool. That's pretty much it. Thank you.
Yes. Is that it? Is that it?
Okay. Any living dinosaurs, and then that's it.
What about dinosaurs?
Like the Loch Ness Monster. Is that a real thing?
Well, of course you understand that dinosaurs exist as birds, yes? And in fact, many of your scientists, to be a little bit more accurate, are not really referring to them as birds anymore. They're referring to them as avian dinosaurs. Yes?
Yes.
Are there any originals living? Very rare, but a few in certain isolated places, yes, where the conditions have lasted long enough for them to perpetuate, but this is exceedingly uncommon.
Oh, okay.
And the idea that you are describing as Loch Ness is a slightly different idea. There are certain kinds of portals around your planet that are gateways between one reality and another, and sometimes beings from other times and places will come through them. And therefore, why you may not be able to easily find them, because they may vanish back through the portal.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So it's kind of like your world is very leaky.
And yeah, that you pretty much answered my questions. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Hi, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Hi, everyone. Feels really good to be here. Last time I talked to you was last year here.
All right.
So a few things I'd like to talk about.
Yes.
So I'm African American as my race.
All right.
And I've been exploring recently the ancestral healing, multi-generational trauma.
Yes.
And making a lot of great steps in it from my point of view.
All right.
And what's coming to me is this idea that the more oppression, the more pain that someone goes through,
Yes.
the more opportunity that person has for bringing light into the world.
It's the rubber band analogy.
Right. And so what occurred to me was that people who have been oppressed systematically for generations and generations have a really great opportunity to bring light into the world.
Which a lot of them are beginning to do.
Right. And so what I've been thinking about is, for African American people, the idea of the past, future being holographic.
Yes.
The idea of changing the past to align with a specific future. Let's say a future that is bright, that has lots of light and love in it.
Yes, means changing the present.
Changing the present. So basically it's changing how we relate to the past. Does it mean, would it be helpful to actually create new stories of what happened in the past? Or
In a sense, yes, you can do that. The idea also is to understand that every time you change yourself, you do in fact literally change your past.
And so what I've been doing is, for my personal past, or the past of people that might have the same skin color as me, or really anyone,
Yes.
I've been kind of feeling into the past.
Yes.
And learning about the stories. And then
Yes.
I haven't been changing the stories because I don't think my belief system can support that, but I've
Why
been
not?
changing
Why
my
not? Why not?
perspective
Why
of the
not? Why
story.
not? Why not? Why not?
Okay.
Because you don't have to insist that they're true for them to have the effect that they are. Yes?
Okay.
That's why you all tell so many stories anyway. You go to movies and read books, and you know that they might be works of fiction, but many of them feel emotionally true, don't they?
True, yeah.
That's sufficient.
Okay. So I can use stories to paint a picture that elicits certain emotions
Absolutely.
within people I'm talking to
And the
trigger.
reason, as we have said several times, that that's so powerful is because story structure is innately built into your psyche. Story structure is not something you invented. Story structure is something you discovered. And so when you tell a story and use story structure, it's like you're plucking the right chords in your psyche to remember that information more efficiently and take it in and absorb it more deeply. Story structure allows you to transmit information more efficiently.
Perfect.
That's why stories stick. And so many stories have been around for so long, is because they follow story structure and people never forget them. If you miss certain beats in the story structure, the story doesn't feel as authentic. It doesn't have to be true to feel authentic. You understand?
Yeah, thank you. That's very
And
helpful.
besides, even though the story may not necessarily be, let's just say, rather than true, where it may not be relevant for your reality exactly, it still can have universal themes that are experienced somewhere in creation realistically.
Okay.
And therefore you're drawing upon that. Yes?
Yeah, thank you. That's cool. Okay. Another thing I'd like to say is, so last time I was here, I think it was last July, I mentioned that my partner and my girlfriend and I, we are planning to have kids,
Yes.
and we have already started communicating to them while they're in spirit.
Oh, all right.
And so they came through you and said something really awesome last time. So I wanted to ask this time if either of them have anything to say to me through you.
Yes. Don't plan quite so much, because we will bring some of our own plan with us.
Okay. And can I ask specifically about where we're going to be living in June? Do they have anything to say about that?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Last thing I want to say is, as I meditate, I've been practicing just letting go of the body as much as I can and just allowing this energy to come in. And I'm curious if you could help my mind understand in more detail what this energy is and how I can better collaborate with it.
It's more of yourself.
Okay. And
More
so I
of your
should just-
greater self. It's not, I know what you mean by the phrase, but it's not really so much about letting go of the body as much as it is incorporating or seeing the body simply as another expression of spirit. Not like the body is in any way, shape, or form holding you back from expanding more in your spiritual state of being. It's all different expressions of the same thing. Does that help?
Yeah, so just keep doing what I'm doing and feel the body as my consciousness, as part of spirit.
Let it be part of the experience of the meditation. Don't
Not
try
trying
to
to get out
exclude
of
it.
it,
Be
okay.
more inclusive with it. Yes?
Yeah, and what I've been doing is, as I feel kind of resistances in the body to taking on more energy, I've just been using Ho'oponopono, which is a Hawaiian kind of healing,
All right.
and it just kind of like seems
You
like
can
the
use multiple
resistances
permission
dissolve
slips
and-
if they help reinforce one another. That's fine, but remember that the resistance you're experiencing is coming from the fact that the body senses that you're trying to exclude it. And then you have to pacify it.
Right, okay.
If you include it, you may not have that sensation or need that extra little permission slip.
Interesting. So,
And by the way,
include the body.
are you thinking of going somewhere closer to the ocean?
Yes.
Then the kid says that's okay.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
It's my highest excitement to be here again.
What a coincidence. Mine too.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's about we have some information on internet that there is some sun simulator going on Earth. Could you tell something?
Can you repeat that phrase? It did not translate.
Yeah, a sun simulator. It's not our sun, our real sun. They say that it's
A
like
sun simulator.
Yes, like a big light that is pretending to be the sun, so to speak. Thank you. That's the best answer.
Well, I'll give you this. The sun is real and is really there because it's a star like a lot of other stars, and it's really there and you're really orbiting it. Yes?
Yes.
However, at the same time, since you now are beginning to understand that physical reality is a simulation, I suppose you could say the sun is a simulation too. But then so is everything in physical reality. It's a simulation that you're projecting from your consciousness. So is it really there? Yes. Is it a simulation? Yes. It's this and that, not this or that.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yes.
But in the way that you meant it, yes, it's really there.
All right. Okay.
It's not a simulated sun in that context.
Oh, thank you.
Does that help?
Yes.
We'll be kind of addressing similar issues in an upcoming transmission titled, Is the Earth Actually Flat?
Thank you. Yeah.
Because we know that that's been a subject of much discussion between different people on your planet. and we will be happy at that time in that transmission to explain why that dialogue is happening, because there's actually a very good reason why it's happening. Not necessarily the reasons that many of you may think, but there is a good reason why that's happening at this time in your civilization. So there's some connection between that and the question that you've asked.
Okay, thank you. I have one more question. Two
What a
more,
surprise.
actually. I was thinking about karma when you were explaining about the history that is
Yes.
really like imprint in our
Yes.
psychic.
Yes.
And so karma would function the same, would be the same.
Karma
like
is self-imposed. Karma is just an understanding that you may have made choices that allow you to experience yourself as being out of balance, and in recognizing that that may not be what you prefer, then taking actions in the direction of choosing things that would bring you back into balance. That's karma. That's all it is.
Okay, it's like a memory.
Well, in a
It's,
sense, although memory is created in the present.
Yeah. Yes. So if we live simultaneous lives.
Yes.
So it's not right to say that we have karma that comes to another life. So
That is incorrect. Correct.
okay. So we don't have anything to pay, like.
No. Just attention to yourself.
Okay.
Pay attention to yourself.
Yeah.
And choose what you prefer. And if you choose something you don't prefer, learn from it.
Okay.
Make choices that are more in alignment with what you do prefer and who you prefer to be. And that will be the proper use of the so-called term karma.
Okay.
That's all.
Yes.
It really just has to do with responsibility again. Yes?
Yes.
And finally,
I had a dream.
yes,
It was many years ago.
Yes.
And I would like you to help me to understand.
maybe.
Yes.
What's the dream?
There was this night I was very scared because I was thinking that there was some ghosts in the house.
Yes.
And I was praying. And
What did you imagine praying would do?
I'm sorry?
What did you think that praying would do?
Make the ghosts go away, perhaps.
How do you know that praying wouldn't make them come closer?
That was what I was scared about. I was not sure. But then what happened that there was this big light.
Yes.
And I saw these 3 angels, big angels, tall angels, and I was not dreaming. And the interesting thing is that the angels, they had eyes like they were extraterrestrials.
Well, that's because they were. They weren't angels. That was a projection from them to put you a little bit more at ease because they gave you something that you were somewhat familiar with.
Oh, okay.
So you had an encounter with the tall whites.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you
Well,
so
I had
much.
nothing to do with it.
Okay, just I had a dream recently that I had a hybrid child, but it had blue skin.
Well, that's a mixture of images because it's representative of going back to the Anunnaki bloodlines because the Anunnaki were slightly tinted blue. That's where the lineage blue blood comes from.
Okay. Okay.
So you're looking at a hybridization, but you're also seeing multiple levels of it that stretch all the way back to the Anunnaki genetically. That's why it appeared to be a blue child.
All right. So he exists.
He does.
Okay. Okay.
Will that do?
Yes.
Thank you.
Me. The idea is that the process itself is always the important thing. Just being physical means that you came here to experience process. And so as people go through this process of creating and participating in this, they will see what comes up for them and what kinds of experiences they have. Because ultimately, all of this is really about all of us getting to another level where, I guess, in a sense, you would say that we're so mature and balanced that they can come here and make contact with us. So as you go on your journey, if you find that you have things coming up and stuff like that, just remember you came here for process. We're all about transforming darkness into light, and do your best to give it positive meaning, and everything will work out just fine. Also, at the end of this month, we have a session in Los Angeles. The 3 days will be, the first night is the mechanics of channeling, which is, it's in Los Angeles, we'll be doing this. So Friday night's the mechanics of channeling, and Bashar is going to get very specific about how this happens. I know that, sometimes people get concerned about, is there filtering? Is this true? What's happening? All of that. And so he's going to help clarify that for us a little bit more about how mechanically channeling occurs. On Saturday night, Darryl will be introducing a new book that's called The Shards of a Shattered Mirror. And this book will have everything to do with Willa Hilla-Chrissing and Holly Cotton. So we're very excited about that new development. And then on Sunday, Bashar is going to talk about what he's calling 13 months and counting, which is all about the fall of 2016 and a little bit more information about what they see as coming down the pike. So I think it'll be a really fabulous, powerful weekend. And for those of you that are listening in on Ustream, if you weren't able to come today, we would love to have you join us in Los Angeles. So the first video we'd like to show you is one that's about our contact crystal that Bashar has introduced a long time ago, for those that aren't familiar with it. So I'm just going to turn that over to the guys that are going to put the screen up, and we'll take a look at the video about the contact crystal.
I just picked up one of your interesting little seed crystals for contact.
Yes.
I was curious if you could talk about that for a few moments.
Again, the idea is that as a child on my world, I was shown the idea of a central hexagonal crystal that existed within a giant, large artistic exhibit created by another contact specialist. The central crystal in that particular work is about, in terms of your size, about 3 feet across. The idea is that it is about the same color green, and around it are other crystals, each crystal added to the central crystal, which represents the first contact of our civilization with another, represents all the other contacts of all the other civilizations we have come into contact with, and constantly grows as more and more civilizations join the interstellar alliance, as you call it. But the idea is that that central crystal is the seed crystal that carries the vibration of contact itself and is representative of my family lineage, along with other family lineages that are also steeped into the idea of being contact specialists. So not only does the idea specifically of that crystal carry the vibration, generally speaking, that is conducive to contact with other civilizations, that particular vibration is also very specifically connected to our world and my family.
Very nice.
So that is our way of welcoming you all to the family. As far as permission slips go, obviously, as was explained, this is specifically tapping into the idea, the archetypal collective consciousness idea that there is a particular frequency or vibration that represents the blending or connection between your civilization and other civilizations. That is one of the frequencies that is put into the charge, in a sense, that is represented by that particular idea, object, permission slip. Now, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to always use that idea, that object, because again, permission slips are what works for you. At the same time, and in conjunction with what we were saying earlier in this transmission as to how there is really no separation between intention and action, between the physicalization, the physical act being that demonstrates and in a sense actually creates simultaneously the intention. The physical act of having a symbol of that nature, a permission slip of that nature, is similar to the idea of physically casting your vote for contact. So the more votes are cast in whatever way that occurs, in whatever form the permission slip feels right for you, the more we can tally those votes, because not just of the intention of wanting contact, but the actual physical act of physicalizing it in some sort of physical way, a physical symbol that is representative of a physical action you have taken that is actually the casting of a vote. And that vote resonates very strongly in your collective consciousness to us. So it really truly changes the vibration of your collective reality. So that is what we wish to add about that idea.
Okay, and the next video we're going to show you is all about what we call our Cetacean Transformation Workshop that takes place in Hawaii, Kona. And this is a series of guided meditations that Bashar pre-recorded. It's a transformational journey designed to integrate and connect you with the dolphins and the Sirius consciousness. And truly, the experience is like getting into a bubble reality in paradise and surrounded by people who love Bashar and the energy of Bashar, and following the experiences that Bashar shares with us in each meditation, and then swimming with the dolphins for 3 or 4 hours every day. So if you find that you're very excited by this idea, please come and join us in October. Here's some scenes from our last Cetacean Transformation Workshop.
Side with you next to me, oh, when the timing's right, you'll glide right back to me. I wanna slide through the ocean blue, right beside you, 2 by 2, oh, when the timing's right, you'll slide right back to me. Oh, won't you be my guide as we're slipping through the sea? I wanna dive so deeply through the crystal waters of the world anew. Oh, and the timing's right, you'll slide right back to me. I'm not expecting you to understand. You're never gonna find me back on land. Oh, and the timing's right, you'll slide right back to me. All those moments together I do treasure. Doesn't really get any better. I wish I could have stayed with you for the rest of my day.
Effortlessly and joyfully slipping through the sea. Streamlined like a dolphin, streamlined like a whale. Weaving, diving, bobbing,
smoothly gliding, effortlessly through life, slipping through the sea.
I wanna glide through the open sea, side by side with you next to me. Oh, and the timing's right, you'll glide right back to me. I wanna slide through the ocean blue, right beside you, 2 by 2. Oh, and the timing's right, you'll slide right back to me. Oh, you be my guide as we're slipping through the sea. All those moments together I do treasure. It doesn't really get any better. I wish I could have stayed with you for the rest of my day.
In unity, in harmony, in joy and in love, you drift into the depths of the deep blue sea.
Oh, when the timing's right, you'll slide right back to me. As we're slipping through the sea.
I think it's time that I introduce Darryl Anka, the channel for Bashar.
All righty.
All right, so let's get serious here. Anyway, again, thank you all so much for participating, being part of this, supporting the energy of Bashar. We know that all of this energy will help to bring about a planet Earth a lot more enjoyable than the one we're currently experiencing, although this is a good one too. But we know we're all moving in that direction of a healed planet and peace and love on Earth. So it's my pleasure now to thank Darryl and Bashar for supporting this process and being that window to the higher frequencies to help all of us transform our world. Thank you, Darryl and Bashar.
Thank you, April. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I'm just going to go right into it, and I will see you later. Bye-bye. Or sayonara.
But it'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. All right. First and foremost, we thank each and every one of you individually and all of you together collectively for the co-creation of this interaction and the allowance of this transmission. We would like to begin this transmission by discussing the differences in that we are now beginning a new series of transmissions, a new phase of transmissions, starting with this one, that are going to include more interactivity between us and all of you. As you say in your language, more hands-on interaction for the purpose of solidifying, crystallizing the link, the bridge between your world, our world, other worlds, to accelerate and crystallize the vibration of contact. So we begin this new series with this transmission that we have called the Sedona Vortex Array. And what happens in this transmission, and from this point forward, will determine the feasibility of where you are with respect to the vibration of contact as a society, and will allow us to gauge when you are ready for more. So, we begin this idea with this concept of the array as an actual physical task that will be undertaken by a few people physically in terms of the construction of the array, but all of you and more will be capable of participating in utilizing the array as a focal point through the meditation exercise we have also delivered to allow everyone to participate who is willing, who's excited by it, to add their energy to the overall experience. The purpose of this being to use your intention in combination, in harmony, in synchronization, to add your energy to the frequency of the main Sedona vortex, which our ship is above, to increase and accelerate the frequency of the vortex and specifically tune the vortex now to the frequency that is most representative of contact. That's what this exercise is about. Now, this first stage, this first phase, to use a word common on your planet, is a test. This is what you would call a dry run, so that we can allow you the opportunity to develop familiarity and some experience with this concept, and for us to gauge how clear the communication is received by you in terms of what it is you are capable of manifesting with respect to the accomplishment of this task, physically and in the meditation. So you can see there are very specific instructions, very specific guidelines for the idea of those who will physically volunteer to actually construct the array. But again, all will be capable of using this, for once there is a focal point, what you might call a technological simulacrum, a representation, a symbol that the meditation and your intention can focus upon, then that will really begin the work in earnest, will really begin the shift in earnest of the vortex of Sedona. Now, the idea again is that this is a dry run, this is a test, but it will be important to make sure that the parameters, the guidelines, are followed, as you say, to the letter, for this will give us an understanding with regard to the future manifestations of the array, the future versions of it in the upcoming phases of its construction, as to exactly how precisely you are capable of manifesting this technological simulacrum symbol, this permission slip that can be used to focus and harmonize your energy, your intention, your imagination, your visualization. The array, as you are looking at it in your diagram, is again simplified for now. It will become a little bit more complex in the future as we go forward in the different phases. It will become something a little bit different than what you're seeing before you. But this is the beginning. And the symbols are representative in general of certain frequencies, certain vibrations, certain energies, some of which you are familiar with and some of which you are not. But as you look at the central hex, you will see that this is basically a symbol that is representative of, specifically, the first contact specialists that exist in my family lineage. So this is specifically keyed to our frequency, this central symbol, because it is our ship that is above your Sedona area, above the vortex that you now are immersed in. So you will start with that, And in the meditation, you will see how it will spiral outward into the next ring of hexes. And the symbols in those hexes around the central hex are generally representative of symbols for the 5 hybrid races that already exist, including my society, and the 6th hybrid race, which your world is becoming. Beyond that, in the outer ring, you have the symbols that people on your planet have chosen to represent the planets in your own solar system. So that you have a vibrational relationship between us, the other hybrid races, and your solar system, your home world. So you will see, for those who will choose to participate in the meditation, whether tomorrow of your time or in the future, you will see how the meditation takes you through these energies in such a way as to form a stronger link, stronger synchronization.
Greetings, Bashar.
Andrew, you good day.
I was going to ask you if you could give me a tip on identifying negative beliefs. I seem to be having a...
All right, well, that's easily done. If you are having or are aware of the fact that you have a negative belief, then identifying it simply is the process of acknowledging it and actually amplifying it and asking the question, what am I absolutely terrified might happen if I actually became who I prefer to be? What's the answer?
What am I terrified of?
Yes, what are you afraid will happen if you allow yourself to move forward in the way that you would prefer to?
Well, see, that's why I don't understand. That's why I seem to be confused, because I know all the stuff.
No, you don't, obviously.
Well, I know that it's...
You have an intellectual comprehension of it, but to know something means it's in your behavior.
Right.
Knowledge and behavior are synonymous. If I asked you to walk across the room, you wouldn't hesitate. You would just walk because you know how to do that. That's in your behavior. That's what you know you are capable of. If it's not in your behavior, you don't know it. You just have an intellectual comprehension of it.
Okay, so how can I instill...
Let's go back to the idea. I'll ask the question in a different way. Are you acting on your highest excitement every moment that you possibly can with zero insistence on a particular outcome? Yes or no?
Yes, except for when I'm not.
All right. You don't have to be clever about it, because obviously we wouldn't be having this conversation if the answer was yes all the time, correct?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Therefore, when I asked you if you were doing that, you could say not all the time.
Right.
And that's what we're addressing. Yes?
Yes.
So can you give us an example of a time when you're not?
When I'm not acting on my highest joy, when I'm fighting with somebody or...
Why are you fighting?
Problems. That's the whole thing, is I don't even know. It seems
like come on.
It seems like I create problems.
Yes.
And then later I can't even figure out why.
What are you afraid of will happen? What are you afraid will happen? The moment that you start fighting, you're afraid of something. You're afraid you won't get something that you need.
Somebody, losing
something. All right. Is that the fear?
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
All right. So why are you afraid you will lose something?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Of course you do. What will happen if in your mind something is lost? And can you be more specific about what it is you're afraid of losing?
Well, I was just thinking of having a fight with my girlfriend over the craziest, stupidest stuff.
Yes, but you understand that the reason it's, in your words, the craziest, stupidest stuff is because you're still focused on the surface and you get triggered by simple things because there's a deeper issue, there's a deeper fear.
Right.
Many times when people on your planet fight, they're not actually fighting about the things they're fighting about. Those are just surface excuses to let people know that there is something deeper going on within you that you're afraid to look at. But when you are not afraid to look at it and bring it to the surface, then you can deal with the real issue. So what's the real issue? What are you really afraid of? When suddenly you feel that you're triggered and that your response has to be that you're fighting, what are you really deeply afraid will happen?
Honestly, I don't know. That's why I'm coming to you, hoping you can get it out of me.
You do? All right. Well, we'll pull harder if you want us to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here for, I want,
I
real
understand.
solutions. I'm
I
not just beating
understand.
around,
I understand. But it's not so much that you want solutions. What you need are processes.
Okay.
And again, the idea is you need honest self-investigation, first and foremost. You have to be willing to dig down deep and not be afraid to be afraid. That's the first step. It has to be okay that you're afraid. You can't gloss it over. You can't be in denial about it. You may have a negative belief system that actually generates extremely deep fear within you. And you have to dig down and find out what this is. You can't be afraid to be afraid. You can't be afraid to find it. But I will tell you a little secret.
Okay.
When people find that they have this so-called deep fear and they say, well, I just don't know what it is, it's generally because they have a belief, probably an unconscious belief, that if they actually did dig down and find out what it is, they're afraid that they might discover that it's actually true.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
That you'll discover something truly negative about yourself that is absolutely the truth. That you are either unworthy, undeserving, inconsequential. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And it is usually those issues that people on your planet avoid looking at, because they're afraid that if they look at that, they will realize it is true. The secret is it can never be true. Ever. You can create the illusion and the experience that it's true, but it can never be true that you are unworthy. It can never be true that you are undeserving of joy. It can never, ever, ever be true that you don't belong. Never. It can never be true that you have nothing to give. It can never be true. Because if it was true, you wouldn't exist. Because creation doesn't make mistakes. Do you follow me so far?
Yes.
So, what's the difference? Let me ask the question this way. Maybe this will provide a little bit of illumination for you. You say there are times when you feel that you are capable of acting on your excitement and none of the fears are triggered. Yes?
Yes.
So the question is, what difference are you making between the times when that is true and the times that it's not? What difference are you making in the different circumstances? How are you defining this circumstance as so different from this one that you can experience joy here but fear here? What's your definitional difference in those circumstances? That's the question to ask yourself when you feel that, when you start to feel triggered. How am I defining this circumstance as being different than the one where I experience joy and I'm not reacting negatively to it? How am I seeing these things differently? That's what you need to explore. That's the process you need to go through to find out what your definition is that's generating the fear and generating the anger and triggering you to fight.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Now, you don't have to answer that right here and right now if you don't wish to, but you can. It's up to you.
Well, I think that maybe was the challenge, or what I was looking at as being a problem was not seeing it that way. I didn't actually ever look at it as the difference between when I was acting on my joy and when I wasn't, and looking at the difference. I was always just trying to figure out what negative belief do I have that is tripping me up.
But this is a way to find out what the negative belief is by making a comparative difference. Because obviously, if you are experiencing your joy, you have a very different definition about your relationship to that circumstance than you have about your relationship to this circumstance. Yes?
Yes.
So if you can find out what the difference in your definition is, you will find the negative belief.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Bashar.
Anything
Appreciate
else?
it. No, I think that's it.
All right, so go ahead and have fun. But the idea also is listen to how you speak. I'm not saying you have to walk on eggshells with your language, but very often you will find that your negative definitions will actually automatically come out in your speech.
Yeah.
Because when you say, I have a problem,
right.
Well, what can you do with a problem? Nothing. But if you say, well, I have an opportunity here, I have a challenge here, then you're back in charge. You can do something about that in a positive way, yes?
Yes.
So pay attention to the fact that you're automatically giving certain kinds of definitions to situations and circumstances and your relationship to them that don't necessarily serve you in the most positive way. So pay attention to how you're framing things and use the process of understanding the difference in your relationship to different situations. The negative belief will reveal itself if you're willing to hear the answer.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.